750 points of Deathwatch versus Necrons. This is our second in our slow grow campaign, in our second series of slow grow campaigns, if you can follow us on that. What we're looking at here is still a 4x4 board. I'm bringing a patrol detachment. Tim's bringing a patrol detachment of Necrons. We are playing the Comet. After the third battle round, the Comet arrives randomly on the board, and that's the only objective that matters. So slay the Warlord doesn't matter, Linebreaker, none of that. It is just once this Comet arrives, secure that at the end of your fifth battle round, and whoever secures that wins the game. So we've got Necrons. I know Tim is bringing Mefrit Dynasty this time, which is going to add a negative, another additional AP to whenever he's within half range. So now normal Necron warriors are going to be a -2 AP with their blasters at 12 inches. So that's going to hurt, but I'm really looking forward to it. Enjoy. 750 points of Deathwatch, still a patrol detachment because that's what our slow grow campaign is dictating. My Warlord and my only HQ choice again is the Watchmaster, and he again is running the Warlord trait of Lord of Hidden Knowledge. Once per battle, if your Warlord is on the battlefield, you can reroll a hit roll, a saving throw, or a wound roll. And every time I use command points on a D6, if I roll a 5 up, I earn a command point back, which is, I think, great for a command point starved army like this. Moving on to my first troops choice, I have a veteran squad. It's a 6-man right there. The sergeant has a power sword and storm shield. I know it's the Xenos blade that he has there, but still I'm starved for points. The other 4 guys have bolters, so ignore the shotgun and storm bolter. And the 6th guy has a frag cannon. And now the Intercessor squad is beefed out. They've got 10 guys in it now, but I've added, on top of the 5 Intercessors, I've given them the auto bolt rifle, and that's at 24 inches. It's Assault 2 now. I've also added in 4 Hellblasters, and I've equipped them all with the Assault Plasma Incinerator. And I've added an Aggressor with his auto bolt storm gauntlets and his frag storm grenade launcher. The Aggressor buffs this unit so now they can advance with no penalty to shooting with assault weapons. So I'm really excited to see if I can get this blob moving across the table to get him within that 24-inch range and shooting with all of that firepower in that squad without getting chipped away in the process. And rounding it out, our Dreadnought from 500 Point Game, he's been hitting the gym, and he's now a Redemptor Dreadnought. And I've equipped him with the frag grenade launchers, the heavy Onslaught Gatling Cannon, and the Onslaught Gatling Cannon attached to his power fist there. He does have the Icarus rocket pod on top, but it is not in this game because I'm a little starved for points to get the auto bolt rifles in on those guys. So that is it for my 750 points. Let's see how they do. 750 points of Necrons. You actually come in at 747 on this one.
You're going to beat me because of those 3 points.
I am. Thanks for the gimme.
That's going to make a big difference.
What do we got?
Oh, we are looking at the Crypt deck again for the HQ. We gave him the Canoptic Cloak. Then we're looking at 2 elite choices with the Death Marks and the Lich Guard. You're going to ignore the Warslice and the Lich Guard because I kitted them out this time with Hyperphase Swords and Dispersion Shields.
Very good.
2 squads of Warriors, 2 Destroyers, and a Heavy Destroyer.
Very good. And you're running in this time as the Mefrit Dynasty.
Yep. Sawtech was not impressive.
And,
at all.
Well, you know.
Yeah, so the Mefrit in half range, all my weapons add, well, they improve by 1 their AP.
That's going to hurt. And you gave your Cryptek a relic?
I did.
Yes. Artifact of the Aeons.
The Veil of Darkness.
Okay. And that can beam them around the board like it used to. And this is the table after deployment. Deathwatch won the roll-off. I started placing on this side, or I picked this side. you started placing on the opposing side there, and just for the Deathwatch here, I tucked in my veteran squad. For some reason I put him there because I like him to be terrified, and then I put my big Primaris squad around that gun they can't use.
I think that I should call shenanigans just on that squad alone.
Yes. And then over here we've got the destroyers. We got your troops, these guys, the Lich Guard, and your Cryptek, and your other Necron warriors. And in your, what do you call it? Transportation station, you have your death marks. Death marks. Oh my god, I'm never going to get these names right. And that's it. Oh, we got a roll die. Why does this surprise me?
You know, we do it often enough. You think we would be used to it.
All right, first turn, I get a bonus.
Of course you do.
And I didn't bonus enough.
Oh, I'm taking it. You want to try to seize?
Yeah, I'll seize. Yeah, I just seized.
You rat bastard.
Well, you know. Deathwatch turn 1 movement. I took my veterans and moved them up within, or just their 6-inch move to get within 24 of the destroyers. I ran my Watchmaster over to be in 6 inches of my Primaris squad that I also advanced, but they have got the aggressor with them, and they have all assault weapons, so they're able to advance and fire as normal with no penalty. And that is it for my movement. Let's hope for some good shooting. Turn 1 shooting from Deathwatch, and well, the veterans decided to be rookies, and they shot up, frag cannon and all, and only put 1 wound on a destroyer.
It was a very impressive 1 wound though.
It was impressive. Yeah, but over here, the Primaris squad, well, they almost killed a warrior squad. They took 8 out of them.
I don't like that.
But the assault plasma incinerator and the auto bolt rifles were just going to town.
Those are nasty.
Yeah, and they got the buff from the Watchmaster, which was nice. But watch, I can't wait for you to re-roll all of their lives. Necron's turn 1 movement. Well, your Canoptic Cloak lets you jump.
Yep, and characters.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. He jumped right over this. Your Lich Guard have advanced. Your 3-man squad, well, you got 1 back with the reanimation rerolls of 5 up.
And hiding. Hey, look, there's a building. Let's get behind it.
Yeah, so they moved up on this building to hide. These guys shuffled up just to get within shooting, and your destroyers moved up as well on the veterans. Let's see if I can make some armor saves.
Let's see if I can make some hits.
Shot in with the 3-man squad, actually wounded, but I saved. Shot in with them, failed to hit and wound.
Yep, yeah.
But then the destroyers.
Big day.
Shot in with their whatever that is.
Gauss cannons.
Gauss cannons. And I needed 2 6s to save, and I did. And then we all said, okay.
Okay, now the heavy destroyer is going to do.
The heavy destroyers got this in the bag. But no, I still got 6 guys here because I needed a 6-up and made it. That's never going to happen again.
Nope, that's mulligan.
But I'm really glad it did. Deathwatch turn 2. Deathwatch turn 2 movement. The Primaris squad plus the Watchmaster have shifted up around this way. Looking at that 3-man squad, and my veterans, I decided to actually move up on the destroyers because I was so lucky on your last shooting phase. I don't think that's going to happen again. All right.
I kind of do.
Deathwatch turn 2 shooting. You know, I did a little damage across the board, so can't.
Frag cannon do?
A frag cannon out of 2d6. Yeah. Out of 2d6, he rolled just 3 shots.
Your bolters were a lot better.
And the bolters were better. But I did put a wound in on one of the destroyers with the frag cannon, and the bolters finished the...
Finish the one off and put one on another.
Yeah, which is nice. And then way over here, my Primaris squad got really angry. I split the plasmas because I really wanted to kill those 3 guys off. And I did, and then I shot the bolters into them, and I killed 1.5 off of that. So overall, not bad for a shooting phase. Let's see what happens in assault. Deathwatch turn 2 assault. They made it in. I needed 5 inches, rolled a 7, And, well, really only the sergeant with the power sword put a wound on. And then nobody else. I got one wound through and you made an armor save.
Yep.
And then you swung back and I made one armor save in return. So we are locked there. And turn 2 Necron's movement. The destroyers fled combat because they've got the fly keyword. Ouch. I was hoping to do more in close combat.
They bravely ran away.
Well, you know, they're robots. And these guys moved up to get within that Mephrit half range.
Yep.
And you...
They're hiding.
Hid. Okay. Well, you dumped the destroyers and you dumped the warriors into the veteran squad here. And I made some valiant saves.
Uh-huh.
But they're gone. And now this side of the board has no Deathwatch, but I've got these guys.
You can't.
And the comet arrived, turn 3, center of the board. Good thing there's no Necrons near it.
Yeah.
Deathwatch, turn 3. Deathwatch, turn 3 movement. I advanced. My Primaris squad moved up around here. I moved over my Watchmaster, and I deep struck down the Redemptor Dreadnought, looking at the Cryptek. Yeah, it wasn't great trying to wrap around this big gun, but it's something. Deathwatch, turn 3 shooting. Well, whoops. I shot the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon. I shot the frag grenade launchers, and I was so confident in that, mainly because of the heat transfer, that I put the other onslaught Gatling cannon into the Lich Guard.
Lieutenant Comfort, I thought he was going to die too.
Well, Cryptek's still here with 2 wounds left. Yeah, didn't expect that. Well, let's see what your Staff of Pain does. Couldn't see that much with my Primaris squad, so they shut in the best they could, but they did a lot of damage. And now that squad is down to 2 guys in the Lich Guard. That is it, because my Watchmaster can't see and you killed everything else. Turn 3 Necrons. Turn 3 Necrons movement.
First of all, we had 2 of these that reanimated.
2 of the Lich Guard came back.
Because fortunately they were within range of his at the beginning of the turn. So they got the 4+.
The Cryptek gave them their 4 up.
Then, because with the Canoptic Cloak, which I'm absolutely loving right now, giving him the fly and the 10-inch move, he went that way.
Yeah.
There's a big scary thing over there, and it
What?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the...
It looks so angry.
It's the skulls.
It's so angry.
And then Death Marks came in over here, 17 inches out, so I couldn't use Auspex Scan. Thanks for freeing up my command points for other shenanigans. Necron's turn 3 shooting. The Death Marks shot in at the Redemptor, putting 1 mortal wound on.
Yay.
The Warriors shot in at the Redemptor, putting nothing.
Things, Jack and Crab.
And the Destroyers put a lot of pain on the Primaris, taking off 4 of my bolters over there. So, ouch. They're down to 6 there. And that was it, right?
Yeah.
Deathwatch turn 4 movement. I moved Tiny up towards, well, your army. I brought around the Watchmaster. Maybe he'll shoot his gun today.
Is that a gun or a spear?
Yep. And I brought the Primaris up front, so just because it looks better.
Mm-hmm. It's positioning.
That's it.
Huge guns. It's all about the angle.
Yeah. Turn 4 Deathwatch shooting, and they actually turned up. Turn 4.
Somebody did.
The Redemptor shot in to the Lich Guard. I don't know where they went. He took them down to a guy, and the Watchmaster with his Guardian Spear killed off the last guy with the flat 2 damage from that. That was brutal. Then the Plasmas opened up, killing off 4 flat out of the Warriors. The single auto bolt guy right there did 1 wound in, but then the aggressor put 11 wounds in on the squad, and you were making saves, but not enough. And that killed off both. That was not what I expected based off of my earlier rolls, but it's kind of what I needed.
Something I expected based on my rolls.
Hindsight, Tim, it's a good thing your Cryptek's over there behind that box.
Woo! Necron's turn 4 movement. The destroyers, back to full strength almost with your reanimation protocol on them.
Yay.
And you
just shifted around.
Okay,
Better
your
coming
crypt
from
deck
those guys.
and your death marks had shifted up. That's it. All right, get ready, Redemptor. You're gonna be making some saves. Necron's turn 4 shooting. Well, your Gauss cannons.
Sure, we'll go with those.
Necron green gun.
Necron green gun on these two. Shot in, did nothing.
Totally failed to do anything.
But the heavy destroyer knocked
He did
him down.
6 wounds himself.
Yeah, brutal.
Yeah.
6 wounds.
Got
Then,
another one from him.
yeah, Cryptek shot in with his souped up
Staff of Light.
Staff of Light
Lightsaber.
Very
stick.
special flashlight.
and knocked another wound off.
And the death marks totally failed to do anything.
Yes, they did. They failed to wound him as well. However, he's down to 5 wounds going in to turn 5. Turn 5 Deathwatch. Well, I put my entire army on the objective.
Bubble wrap.
I know. Really hard tactics going on here. But, thank you. Thank you. But we're sitting there and we'll see what happens. Deathwatch turn 5 shooting. And the Primaris squad, what's left of it, was able, with its Assault Incinerator plasmas, do some work on the destroyers, and then, well, actually everything shot into the destroyers.
Did, yeah.
The Watchmaster put wounds into the destroyers, and the Redemptor finally, there was a guy with a wound left, and that did it. He was gone. So, destroyers are off the board. I've got a Cryptek and some death marks to deal with. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Necron's turn 5 movement, the death marks have come out of cover.
Yeah.
And the Cryptek has jumped over. He is going to engage over here. That's it! Turn 5 Necrons. We're recapping shooting and assault. The death marks shot in, put in a wound on the cocky sergeant with the pointed finger.
Yep.
And
Cryptek decided to go out with a bang. He charged.
he did. He didn't do anything shooting.
Yeah.
I made my save.
Yep.
Needed 5 up, made it. Got into close combat.
You didn't get him with the Overwatch, which I fully expected to happen. You got 2 wounds off of him in Overwatch. He had 2 left. He totally whiffed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he got sucker punched.
Yeah, and I just swung back with the Primaris. I didn't even get a chance to swing with the aggressor yet.
Oh no.
And he went poof.
Yes.
So, that's the end of the game. Tim, that was awesome.
That was fun to watch.
That was a great game. Nate, thanks for coming out. Hey, you get a handshake too. Hey! We like a crowd.
I helped.
Awesome game. Coming back at 1,000 points in about 2 weeks.
Shark Stalker.